Hi, and welcome back to our market update. I'm Rhonda with Comey and Shepherd Realtors, and today we are talking about January 2023 numbers. And I will just say that, everything I thought and expected and have grown to understand from doing this market update since 2018, it just, oh my gosh, okay. My brain just is having a moment. But I know you guys have been sending me questions on YouTube and lots of comments. And so everything that you would expect and that we heard all last year about things crashing and we kept telling you not going to happen. Well, finally it's starting to come together and make some sense. All right. So let's start with the units sold. And this, I'm still in shock. We sold 920 units in January. That is down 34% from the prior month, which was pretty much the same as what we sold last January. So I'm just, there's not inventory. Our lowest price property was $15,000, and that was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, about a little over 1,000 square feet in Fairmount. Now, this was a little unique because it was an online auction. It looked like they had listed the property at like $20,000, and yet nothing really happened with it. So they dropped it to $17,500, and it did finally sell in 33 days for $15,000 plus a buyer's premium. If you don't know what that is, well, any of these auction sites or most of these auction sites have about a 10% buyer premium that just gets added on to whatever you agree to pay. Now on to our highest priced property. This was a 10,000 plus square foot home, 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, gorgeous pub room, lots of things that were a little bit unique. And according to the listing, it had attention to detail that was rarely seen. So it does sound like and look like it was very nice quality. But this house was listed in October for $3.395. Then a few days later, they adjusted the price. So what do you think the house ultimately sold for? They adjusted the price actually up to $4.295, and then it sold, or at least went pending, in 6 days and ultimately sold for $4 million with cash. All right, moving along, our average sale was only down 3%. No one likes for it to be down, but 3% January, I'm not going to be mad about that. So it was down to 289. Our average days on market went down. We were at 20 in December. January, they were at 9. So those cumulative days on market were just 10. So not really much difference there. Inventory, though, actually about 6 weeks worth of inventory at the moment, because we just didn't sell much. But again, folks, I pulled the numbers the other day. We had 1,254 units available, and this was February 1st, and 441 units out of 1,254 were new construction. Now, some of them have been started, some of them have not. So that leaves us 900 units available. Right, so remember I said that our average sale was $289 and it was down 3% from the prior month. Well, it was actually up 5% from last January. And so I want to talk a little bit about why It's not crashing. And so when you look at this chart, and this is just from fall of 2018 when I started really tracking all of this. I could go back to the MLS for years and years and years and show you. But I do think that we've had some really interesting years the last few years. So if you look at this graph, you can see things kind of, there's the little changes throughout the months, and there's like a little peak every year, and then it kind of comes down. So this is July of 2020, and then June of 2021, it was at its highest. The interesting thing about 2021 is it didn't really go down. Like it just kind of, if you know anything about the stock market, when things kind of go sideways, it's called lambing. And that's what I kept seeing. Now it did drop. Okay. January of 21, we started, our average sale was 254. Then in January of 2022, it was 273. And now we're at 289. So those numbers continue to go up, even though, they're coming, you see them coming down and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, they're coming down and what are we going to do? Well, the high last year was 345. So yeah. It went 308, 329, 345, back to 324, 322, 312, 305, 302. It's barely coming down. Units dropped 18%, but the average sale dropped 2%. There's no inventory, and everything that's going on is honestly pretty normal and fairly seasonal for just how Cincinnati works. I mean, like I said, 21 was a little bit weird just because of everything that was going on in the world. But beyond that, I don't see anything that is telling me there's ever going to be a crash, or at least not in the foreseeable future. Obviously, if the world catches on fire and, everything floods or there's gigantic earthquakes or whatever, and there are some of those, and I apologize to the people who are dealing with that. But as Ohio, if we aren't seeing earthquakes, we're not only seeing major tornadoes or other crazy weather and fire events that happen in other parts of the country. We change with the seasons and with inventory. And right now, we just still don't have any. And therefore, the people that are out there looking are most likely not going to just give up. They're going to look, they're going to find the house they want, because many of them are already pre-approved. So as long as they can afford a house that they like, they will buy it, they will move in. Hopefully they already have another house to sell because we need to free up that inventory. But does any of this make sense? Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? Because I keep seeing comments and chatting with people online where they're just like, well, prices should come down. It's going to crash. What am I going to do if I can't get my house to appraise when I decide to refinance in 12 months or in 6 months or whatever? Yeah, that's not a problem. It's really not a problem unless you just paid a ridiculous amount for the area. Even then, I really believe strongly that because the market is what it is, it would still probably appraise for at least what you paid for it. Because that's typically how appraisals work. Unless the house caught on fire or there was something massive that changed, it's probably worth at least the same as what you paid for it 6 months ago, 12 months ago, unless there was a change. Feel free to keep commenting and let's have these discussions, because I still feel like there's a ton of people out there who just are waiting and they think something miraculous is going to happen for them in pricing. And I'm here to tell you, I don't see it. I predicted a 3.5% increase this year. And with the lack of inventory, I mean, unless builders get those 441 homes finished and they're just sitting there with no one to buy them, I really do foresee prices continuing to increase. All right. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next month.